Hi there, Plant Girl here. Well, I have my LetPot out here because, yes, Buster, yes, because it's gotten a little bit overgrown in the house. Now, this can raise up quite a bit higher than it is at right now, but to be under my cupboards, this is pretty much its max height, and that's where I've been keeping it. Could actually go up quite a bit higher. And the plants would have enough room, but I really don't need an indoor garden right now in the summer. My yard is full of plants and things. I've harvested several heads of lettuce out of here and quite a bit of herbs off of these herbs. But I just thought, why am I continuing to run this in the house when I have so much growing outside? So what I've decided to try and do is to take and salvage some of these plants. I don't know how good they're gonna look because they've gotten a little bit rangy. I just really haven't been paying attention to it. But I've let it run pretty much dry now. And I'm going to try and take the plants that are in here and repot them, rehome them so they can be outside growing and looking beautiful. And, well, I'm not sure if they'll be looking beautiful, but I want to save them. But I just don't want them in the house on my kitchen counter right now anymore. I'll use this for sure again in the winter, but right now I just don't need it. But I have things like this cilantro here that I would love to have available to me in another month or so when my tomatoes are in full production and I'm making salsa and things. And I actually have quite a bit of trouble getting cilantro started outside. So I don't really want to lose this plant. It smells so good right now. So I decided I'm just going to save it. I'm going to pot it up. It's not beautiful. I'll groom it a little bit. It's looking a little mangy at the bottom here. But I'm going to save this cilantro. Wow, look at the roots on this thing. Well, I just broke a bunch off, but I'm going to save that. I have basil here. It's a beautiful basil plant, but I have lots of basil growing outside already. So I'm actually going to get it out of here if I can. Oh, wow. Okay, there's lots of roots down in here. I'm actually going to take what I can off of here, which, everything I guess. I'm going to take the leaves off of here and I'm going to put them on my dehydrator and dehydrate them and just save this basil to use over the winter in dried form. So that's what I'll be doing with the basil. So just kind of set it out of the way. That's crazy. And then I have some oregano here. So I'm going to take this and pot it up. It doesn't look like much. I'm going to trim it back a bit. Kind of been forgetting about it and not using it, but I think if I get it out and pot it up and trim it so it's looking nicer, I'll probably use more off of it. I usually do use quite a bit of my homegrown oregano. And yeah, I'll just keep it outside. So that'll get that out of the way. And then I have a mint here. So this is spearmint, beautiful. It'd be great to have some of this growing. I just don't want it in my house because I don't need to grow it in my house. So I'm gonna pot this up. And then one more is rosemary. I tried to grow rosemary lots. I've never had good success. I had one plant going earlier this winter and I think I overwatered it or kept it too damp. I was kind of misting it. I don't know what I was doing. But it died, turned black and died. And then I had another one start in here and it died off. But now I have what looks like 2, maybe even 3 plants growing out of this one space here. So I'm going to try and pot this up and hopefully keep it growing as well. And if I'm lucky, maybe I can even keep this going over winter because rosemary you can overwinter indoors. I'm in zone 3, Saskatchewan, Canada, so I can't overwinter it outside. None of these can, maybe the spearmint once in a while, but not usually. So anyways, that's my plan is I'm just going to be repotting these few things that I want to save and then taking the basil and I'll take the leaves off and put it in my dehydrator and save those for later. And then I'm going to have to clean out this LetPot. I won't bother doing that on camera for you. I showed you once what you need to do. The roots in here are crazy. I've never had a thing like this before. They sent this out to me this spring, I think it was. So I've done it in a video. I do have a promotion code. I'm not sure how long it lasts, but I'll put it on the screen here. And if you're interested in checking this out, it is a good machine. It's worked really well for me. I just don't need it in the summer. So then I'll just get this out of the way and put away and free up some cupboard space for the rest of the summer until I'm ready to pull it out again in the winter and be able to grow some nice greens and things when it's too cold outside here to do that. So we'll get this moved out of my way. Okay, so now that I have that out of the way, this tag out of the way, and I'm just going to pop this basil down here. I'll deal with that last. So I have, that's my spearmint, my rosemary, my oregano, and my crazy looking cilantro. And then I picked up these two pots this winter at a local garden center, and I think they're really pretty. They have dragonflies embossed on them. I'm not sure how well the camera will pick that up in the sunshine, but they don't have liners in them, so I've just stuck some plastic pots in that I can take out and water if I need to, but I'm hoping that I can just dribble a little bit of water in to the soil in here and be able to handle watering them without overwatering them. We'll see how that goes. And then because this won't look very pretty on top, I just picked up some decorative pebbles just to kind of put around the pots and top dress the pots, just to hopefully make it look just that little bit nicer. So that'll be for 3 of the plants, and then I'll put one in here. This is a pot I've had for years. I love it. It does have a bit of a plastic liner in it. It's kind of gotten wrecked because I've had it for so long. So I did still put a catch pot or another pot in with drainage that I can take out. And I'll probably still top dress with some stones, but it won't be probably as necessary. And I just picked up a bag of herb and vegetable soil. I'm not sure what makes this herb and vegetable soil, or vegetable and herb soil, but since I was going to have to buy soil anyways, I grabbed this. So I'm just going to fill these up, these little pots up, pop the plants in, just regular transplanting. The only thing that'll be different is I need to take them, you're supposed to take them out of these plastic things and then just plant them. There's like a little, I don't know, foam or something that you plant the seeds into with the LetPot. So that's what all the roots are growing out of right now. And so you just are supposed to plant that right with the plant. And I'll groom this guy up for sure a little bit here. But first thing is I'm going to get the soil into these pots. Did you see the dragonflies that just landed on me? Okay, so what do I want to plant where? I think, even though it's not the most attractive plant, I'm going to put the cilantro in here because I don't want it getting kind of growing together with, like if I put the oregano with it, but if I put the oregano and the spearmint together, I think they're going to get all intertangled because they're kind of doing that in the LetPot already. So I think having them separated is a good idea. Now I need a bit more soil in there. Hopefully I didn't just bury that too deep. I'm certainly not an expert in growing herbs, that's for sure. But so we'll take the oregano Try and get it out of here without pulling it out of the foam. That worked well. A little more soil around it. The soil's nice and damp, but I will probably try and keep these a little bit on the moist side for the first little while, just because they've been growing in water. And I always find when you move things, like if you've been rooting a plant in water and then you move it to soil, I always find the transition better if this soil's a little bit on the almost soggy side for the first week or two as they get adjusted to growing in soil. So that's what I will be doing. But let's see how this looks if I put some stones around it. Kind of hoping to just maybe make it look a little more like they're just growing in the tin pots. I don't know if that's going to work or not. There, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, considering what I started with. It's kind of interesting, but that's 2 of them done. We'll get these out of the way and do another one. So, where did I put the rosemary? Do I want the rosemary in here? I think so, because I think this pot would be the nicest to deal with if I'm just saving one of these over the winter. Do a bit more soil. Again, so we'll just try and get this out. Oh, that came out really nicely. So the rosemary doesn't have nearly the root development on it that the other plants did, but I do think it still looks healthy, so hopefully I can get it to overwinter. Or at least grow for a while. It's not a real heavy top dress, but I think it dresses it up a little bit. And then the last one, again, I think we'll need more soil because those first 2 really sunk down. This spearmint looks amazing, smells amazing. Has a couple little kind of brown leaves, but I think that's just from everything kind of shading each other out. I think that looks better. Maybe one more here. There. I'll try and get this out. So those roots are pretty nice on there. Try and get a big hole for them. Roots down, down, down. So the LetPot did say that, you know, you could just grow plants in it, or you could do what I'm doing now and start plants in it and then transition them into like outdoors or in pots. So this is one of the purposes of it. So I thought I'd give it a try. Now, these little containers ate up more stones than I thought they would, so I think I'm just going to grab some other rock that I have that's not the black rock to fill in the bottom of this, and then I'll put the black rock on top. Okay, well, I mean, the plants are a little bit scraggly. I can probably trim this mint up a little bit here. Just go down to the next leaf node. And I can use that mint and some tea. And that'll just encourage them to branch out a bit more. I really don't know with the cilantro what the best method of attack is with it. I'm not, like I said, I've had trouble growing cilantro most of my life, so I'm not sure how to deal with it. So if you're a cilantro pro, should I snip it back like I did the spearmint, or just, so it's just these stalks and then it's done? I don't know. The oregano, I'll also just snip on more and then it'll grow better. Most herbs do grow better if you trim at them. So, and it's been sitting right in my kitchen. Why I haven't been using them, I don't know, except that they were just all kind of tangled together and just kind of wasn't as nice to do. Now they'll be a little bit more separate and I think they just look prettier. I'll maybe put them on a table up on my deck and then I'll be able to access them easily still, but they'll be a little more spread out and look a little nicer. And yeah, I'm happy with that project. So like I said, I'm just going to take the basil and I'll just be taking the leaves off and laying them on my dehydrator racks and dehydrating it. And it works pretty well. I just put it on a really low setting and just let them run until they get crispy, and then you can take them off, put them in a jar. As they dry, I just collect them in a jar, and some will still be needing longer, so I just put them in the jar and I just shake the jar every day with the lid on and watch for moisture in the jar. As long as no moisture appears, then they're good and dry, and then you can crush them up and use them for dried basil. So I love the smell of basil. So that's what I'm going to do with that, because I think I have about 6 plants of basil in my yard right now, so I don't need any more saved out here. But yeah, quick little project. Now I just need to clean up that LetPot, which won't take much, just kind of a good rinse, maybe a little wipe out, let it dry, and I'll just put it away until the snow flies and I get that itch to want to be starting things inside. And I think that'll be a cleaner method to do that than in soil and pots like I've always done when I'm looking to grow things like lettuce and greens inside over the winter. So thanks for watching this quick little project, and we'll see you next time. Bye.